I have a couple of things that I want to cover here. We have in the trading room, we have some discussion about a trade setup that Henry posted. So yesterday he posted this trade right here in the Discord, and that one went south. He went long, and then it obviously didn't work out great. And basically what he said was, went straight the other way. What am I getting wrong? So first of all, I just want to say, like, just because of the fact that it didn't go your way doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the setup. You know, sometimes we're just going to get trades that are completely, you know, not looking great. We have an example of that on a trade that I took recently on Bitcoin. I posted a setup on that one as well, and I can show you this one. Basically, this one right here. You know, I entered long here. Price went straight down against the trade right away, hit that stop loss, and I still view this as a good trade. Why is that a good trade? Because it's a break and retest of this level right here. Not the perfect trade, but still a good trade. But good trades can also be losing trades. So what I'm saying is every loser is not a bad trade. Well, let's look at this one right here. So you're on Bitcoin, okay, and you're trading on the 15-minute. So I'm just going to go through this right here. Die Hard Ellis says, when you're on the 15-minute time frame, you got to remember you're at the mercy of the higher time frames. If you're trading the 15-minute, the first question for me would always be, does my 1 hour chart look bullish or bearish? Yeah, I think that's a good starting point. Now, of course, whatever works for you, and whatever you tested and whatever you have good statistics on, that's what you should be going on. Now, if that is, you know, trading the system completely isolated on the 15-minute time frame, that's what you should be doing. But most of the time, what I like to do is I like to have the bias of the higher time frame when trading the lower time frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break down this trade setup. I'm going to take a look at where you entered and then just break it down basically. Okay, so we go to Bitcoin. We're on the 15-minute. We're on the 15-minute. Going to switch to futures. Put perpetual on Bybit. Just get a bit better price action. What is the actual setup here? I think you have the... Okay, that's the actual... We can find the entries. It's right on that one right there. It's a break and retest. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's take a look. 3, 1, 2, 3 is going on that one right there. Okay, so you entered here. TP at those highs. Where's TP at? Is it at those? Okay, so we go back 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to be that one right there. Equal highs. Yeah, it should be right around that level. And then your stop loss is way down here. Not sure why you've decided to have that wide of stop loss. Pretty insanely wide, I would say. Even looks like this would be lower than half an hour. It's still on the... Okay, no, actually we're looking at the 1 hour here. So that's actually the 1 hour. That's the 50-minute. Okay, so entry is right below down there. Yeah, okay, so you're going for half an hour. Good. Now, I guess this is pretty much the setup we're watching. So let's add some moving averages here. That's a good one. And then also we have, it's a long signal as well. So this is, I mean, this is not a bad trade. I like that. I like that long signal. Kind of makes sense. The way I would trade this is we're obviously on the 15-minute, we're seeing a downtrend here. We're seeing a break of structure. And the way I would trade this, okay, this is important, right? Because I'm guessing that, okay, you're not really trading with the EMAs, but if you're using the RLZ method, if you're trading with the RLZ method, you should be having the EMAs on. So here you have the cloud, right? You got that cloud right here, the area between the 20 and the 50, whatever settings you have on the indicator. But the way I would trade this is, let's look at the replay. Now it's still going to be a loser, but I'm just going to show you the way I would trade it. So first of all, there's a level here. If we remove the indicator, you'll see that I think this is a fairly good level. And then you have a mid zone right here, aligns with good structure here. If you want to be, I mean, if you want to really be disciplined here, you want to wait for like a more of a reclaim of this level before entering. But this is I would say that this is good enough. It's a decent, it's actually a decent trade. The way I would trade this is I would trade it like this. I would treat this as the downtrend, and then this is the uptrend. So this is the trend that we're trading on the 15-minute. So with a tight stop loss, we want to be having the stop loss below the reload zone. And then if we're going for half an hour, well, that's just going to be a very small move up here. It's a scalp move up to these highs perhaps. Now I want to make sure that I have a wide stop loss, which means having the stop loss down here below the last low. Now we're looking for a trade, well, actually up to that high. That would also be almost half an hour. So I think that would actually be a trade that I would be taking. Now let's look at your idea. So this is just to give an example of the way I would trade this. Now, of course, this would still be looser. Again, I would still view this as a fairly good trade, but you could have been you could have saved some money here by basically waiting for this upper zone to be reclaimed as support, because you can clearly see that price is still using that level as resistance. Anyway, let's look at your idea here, which I believe is something like this. We use the replay tool again. This is where you saw the entry. This is where you entered. And now we zoom out. First, I want to look at the daily. So we're going to do a top-down analysis. We're looking at the daily. A lot of things on here. Let's start removing some things. We don't need all of this. Okay, it's a clean chart. Great. What's our bias here on the daily? Not sure. And I guess that candle, I mean, before this candle is when you saw the setup. So we could say that we're at support, right? Which kind of aligns with the idea of going long. So we're at some type of support here in the daily. What about the 4 hour? That's where you wanted to go long in the 4 hour. I would say that, I mean, we're clearly not at resistance. We're clearly at some type of support on the 4 hour, which is a good thing. We go down to the 1 hour. And this is where I believe that it becomes a reason not to go long here. Because what happens if you add a, you see, you're always going to have to do a top-down analysis. Even if you're trading lower time frames or whatever, you always want to make sure that you're not buying resistance. That's one of the most important things here. You want to make sure that if you go long in the 15-minute, make sure that you're not buying resistance on the 1 hour. And that's basically what you did. So you saw price come up here. You know, price comes up, hits resistance. What do we do when we have a rejection at resistance? Well, I would actually want to be looking at perhaps, you know, on the close of this 1 hour candle right there. That's a massive move. But what I would do is just, I would enter short here, stops above here, and then look at, you know, targeting lower. That would be a winning trade. That would be the trade. If you add the moving average, it says, well, look at that. It's not like that's a short signal. It's just short signal on the indicator. So basically what you did is you went long on the 15-minute, and then after going long, right before getting filled on the 15-minute, you get a perfect short signal on the 1 hour. Okay, you see this? Wait till the indicator loads. You have a break and a retest and a rejection of a horizontal level, confluent with the reload zone. You got the moving averages here, and you're also seeing a short signal on the 1 hour. This is not something that you want to be going long on the 15-minute. So I believe this 1 hour candle closed at 12. Well, is it 12 a.m.? Yeah, I believe it's 12 a.m. right? It's midnight. It's midnight basically, which was right here. So right here is the close of the 1 hour candle. That's when the 1 hour candle is closing. You're entering right before the close of the 1 hour candle based on a 15-minute long signal. If you would have waited for the 1 hour candle, you would have gotten a short signal on the 1 hour at a break and retest of resistance. Now, the only way that I would be going long on the 15-minute is if you get a long signal, down here before hitting that resistance. So you're basically anticipating, you're seeing a long signal on the 15-minute, and you're anticipating that long signal on the 15-minute to take you up to resistance above on the 1 hour. That's okay. You can trade a downtrend on the 1 hour if you see that there's untested resistance above, and you're going long on the 15-minute with the idea of trading that 15-minute trade up to the 1 hour level. So you have to have a good idea of multi-time frame analysis. Now, a very important thing here is to make sure that you're not falling victim for what's that word? Analysis paralysis. That's right. You don't want to fall a victim for analysis paralysis, which is very easy when you're doing top-down analysis. So you have to have a clear structure. You need to keep it very, very simple. And you saw for me, I looked at a daily, not really getting a lot of information on a daily other than we are at support. 4 hour, we're at some type of support. Going down to the 1 hour, we see a break and retest of resistance. Right there and then I would say, okay, I didn't even have to look at the 50-minute again, because remember, you saw a long signal on the 50-minute, but you saw a break and retest to the downside on the 1 hour. So basically trading the 50-minute against the 1 hour. You need to make sure that all time frames, or at least the closest time frames, you're on the 50-minute, you want to make sure that the 1 hour is confident. But honestly, if I want to make sure that I'm trading with all the time frames. Now, this would mean that you're not going to get a lot of signals, but that's the whole idea. You're not supposed to be taking a lot of trades. So hopefully that clears it up here. I could say that if you waited 15 minutes more, you've lost you missed out on a very good short signal on the 1 hour, and maybe instead of looking at the 15 minutes, maybe kind of try to zoom out, look at the 1 hour, maybe the 4 hour, look at those signals, because on the 1 hour you can find some pretty good signals. Of course, you can find signals on the low time frames as well, but you need to make sure that you understand that it needs to be confluent across different time frames. All right, let me know if you have any questions.